What renovations should you, the landlord, do? What renovations should you avoid? I have run into lots of real estate investors over the years that look at their properties and make decisions based on what they would want. But is that always the best decision? Let's talk with Casey from Brick by Brick Wealth. Casey, how you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing good, Michael. It's already starting to feel like springtime. And I feel like that's, January comes around and people want to clear out their houses. They want to make renovations happen and make everything look nice. And when you live in your own home, we're like, investors are like the cobblers, right? They have terrible shoes, but they fix everyone else's shoes. That's what my house has always been like. And whenever we have a vacancy during the year, we're like, what can we do to get more rent? What can we do to make it better? And I talk to new investors all the time, and their idea of making it better is major upgrades and adding quartz countertops and putting in matching appliance packages and doing all these things. So I would love to talk about what are the smart renovations to do as a rental property investor. So anyways, yes, I'm doing good. I'm so excited about our topic today.
Awesome. Well, let's do this. And, let's just start bottoms up. One of the things that I have certainly changed over the last 20 years or so is what I do with flooring. So why don't we talk about flooring first? What do you do there? What do you recommend?
Okay, so it definitely depends on the quality of the property, right? If you have I do an A, B, C, D grade, like just in school, and an A graded property is the highest and best it can be. D is never it's like not livable, right? So then you have B and C grade. Also, the types of flooring that I do will depend on the neighborhood that I'm in. If I'm in $1 million neighborhood, I'm not going to do LVP. Okay. So you would want to do hardwood floors and nice tile. That being said, being in the lower end market, we have properties that are in the, $1 to $250,000 price point. We're in the Memphis area, in B or C neighborhoods, and they're single story. I'm doing LVP. Now there's two kinds of LVP in a way. There's click lock, which is hard and sturdy. It looks nice. You need an underlayment, and then there's the glue down stuff. And when you look in the light, it just looks kind of wavy if not installed correctly. And I know a lot of people will put the glue down. It's very flexible in their rentals, and that's fine, in my opinion, for the lower end. So we have done that in one rental property. And it was my nightmare tenant property where the tenant completely destroyed their hardwood floors under the carpet because she had dogs pee all over everything and they were non-refinishable. So I was so mad about it. We did do the glue down. It looks fine, but it is in, more of our C-class neighborhood. Personally, the click lock looks nicer. It's, it's just it's a higher end grade. You can get a commercial wear layer for that. And so we love to do that as our flooring option over carpet or, hardwoods. Or if they do have hardwoods, we will refinish them if they can be refinished. That lasts long too.
Yeah, I've certainly evolved to, click lock everywhere. I'll give you a little twist on that. Just to be clear, right? We do click lock everywhere now, except bathroom and kitchens. Bathroom and kitchens get tile floors. Anywhere there's water, you don't want any wood at all. It's just silly. So today it's tile, kitchen, baths, click lock everywhere, including bedrooms. If I were to rewind the clock to Norris Drive when it was our first rental, we would actually do carpet. We would do new carpet, new pads, everywhere, except again, bathroom and kitchen, which has always been tile in our world. Then we went to a time where it was carpet only in the bedrooms and click lock everywhere. And we've just now given up on that in the last couple of years. It lasts longer. It's Fresno, California. So it's not like we have winters and, you're worried about people freezing. Today, and the beauty is it's the same click lock everywhere. So we have some ready supply if needed. We don't change colors or types. We just buy the same stuff. So that's what we do for flooring, tile and click lock at this point.
Same. We do too. We try and put tile in the kitchen and the bathrooms. A lot of times, people before will have linoleum, the long roll out sheets. We rip that up. And if there's asbestos tile under there, I'm just going to lay my tile right on top. So I'm not going to go get a hazmat team.
Well, you mentioned countertops. It's countertops have changed a lot over the last 20 years. Now what I'm doing there, just to start it off, is if we ever have to replace one, and it's about twice a year probably. Because again, we still have some Formica countertops and some of our
Yeah.
old, like, for my rule with countertops is we'll just run them till they're not good anymore. And then what we do is we come in and we find quartz. We just put in quartz countertops at this point.
I love it.
Again, they're
So
just
what are the kind of price points of, or what class of neighborhoods would you say your rentals are in that you're putting quartz countertops in?
We do quartz at everywhere. Even our apartments now get quartz countertops because typically they're really small. We can get leftovers or remnants, as they're called. Again, I try to standardize as much as possible. So we have B and C. It's about 50-50, but
Okay.
it's the countertops. A quartz countertop, even in an apartment building that's going to get beat up, is going to last 2 or 3 times longer than other countertops. And they're just hard to break, hard to damage. And sometimes that's just the best answer, even for a C-class apartment building. So, but again, we're not replacing everywhere all the time. It's like, hey, that Formica countertop finally ran its life and come in. It's a 8x4 piece or whatever it is. And it's just like, cut in the sink and we're done.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. The house that we bought, that's almost done. It's in a more B-class neighborhood. We did the entire kitchen. So we gutted it. We put nice tile floors down. We even did like soft closed doors. I don't normally go that far for the cabinets, but they really weren't that much more than the cheapy ones for the cabinets. And we did do quartz countertops and it looks fantastic. So I'm supposed to list that. I was supposed to list that yesterday for rent. So we'll be doing that today. But for our other neighborhoods, we will put in quartz if I'm making enough money in cash flow. There's not a huge difference with the cash flow price if I'm not doing the whole kitchen. So if I have original 50s or 70s cabinets and I've just painted them white, I'm probably not going to go put quartz down. Now, we did do that on one of our rentals a couple years ago. We did white granite because it was a lot cheaper. We got a good deal on it over the quartz. The lady wanted like $65 a square foot. And I got my white, that's a white with some black specks granite for 35. So I'm like, well, that looks great. So we opted for that. And we did put that on the existing cabinets that we painted white and we touched up with some nice matte black chunky hardware. It looked really nice. Yeah. But otherwise in my C-class neighborhood, just out here in Memphis, nobody really does go the extra mile for the quartz or the granite. In the C-class neighborhoods, they'll put on, like a marble looking Formica. So, like at Lowe's and Home Depot, and even some other stores. Yeah, there is, and it's white and it looks really nice. And, it's if it's either going to be $3,000 for quartz countertops or $200 for white looking Formica, people are still doing that. And it does look really good. Now, if I was going to redo the entire kitchen, gut it and start over, I would consider, because you don't want to do brand new cabinets, tile floor, have everything look nice with appliances. And then now you've got, laminate.
So let's talk about cabinets, right? It's funny, even on cabinets, we do a couple of different things. It's amazing what happens if you just spray them and put on new hardware. Yeah. Right. New hardware is pretty common for me. Sometimes you could just replace the doors, which again is a big change. And then sometimes you got to replace, the whole thing, including the boxes. People don't realize some of these older cabinets, they're just built better. So I would tell you that we probably save the boxes, 80% of the time. Even in our apartments, they're just stronger, more sturdy. They were built better than, new stuff. So I would say we change the hardware probably 100%, 90% of the time. The doors, 60%, and then have to replace everything, probably only 10 or 15%. You have to beat them up pretty hard to replace cabinets, like the full box.
Yeah. Out here in Memphis, the cabinets have all these grooves, in the doors that make them look really outdated. And I haven't really found an affordable door place to just do replacement doors. It's almost worth it just to start over, Wow. So we do start over with, and you can get good deals on RTA cabinets. You can get solid oak boxes. You don't have to do, the particle board. I would never buy a particle board box, but you can get RTA boxes, flat shipped flat. And install them and they don't take very long. Personally, what I like to do now is buy the white uppers. Now, my last house, I did do white uppers and lowers, but the problem with buying pre-finished white countertop or cabinets on the bottom is that they get dirty.
Yeah,
The white lowers get really dirty.
Yeah, I
And
don't remember
so
ever
what
have. I
like
don't
to do-
know that I've ever had white cabinets.
Yeah. Yeah. So like that's kind of the thing. And when you have smaller kitchens, and everyone's doing white. So, but what I do is I'll do the white uppers, the white countertop, and then I'll get the oak door, not the pre-finished cabinets, the ones with the paint, and I'll paint them like a navy blue.
Oh, okay.
Because so they're like kind of tuned. I'm sure that'll go out of style, but so far white uppers and blue lowers, I really like dark blue because you can touch up paint between tenants to blue. You can't really touch up paint pre-finished cabinets.
No.
So, and the white usually stay clean, but the drips, the coffee, the nicks and all that, it's a lot easier to touch up a painted cabinet than it is a pre-finished one. You'd have to just paint the whole thing. So
yeah, good call.
We've liked doing that, and we'll try and buy RTA when we can. And they're solid boxes, so far so good.
How about windows? What are you doing on windows?
So out here, okay, unlike California, in the South, you have storm windows, just like a storm front door. You kind of see like the wooden door, then you kind of almost have a, the screen door, but out here it's glass or it's wrought iron, a security door, storm door. Well, there's windows too, storm windows. So you have a lot of them have two sets of windows. They have the interior window, and then they'll have another window right on the outside. So you will have to open two, which is unique from when I lived in California. Everyone just switches to vinyl. So if you can keep your windows, what you do is usually the inside are old wooden windows and they go up and down. They don't slide left to right. They go up and down. Then they'll have like a metal storm door window. So I will keep those as long as possible. So I know in California, having windows be an upgrade is a huge selling point. Oh, we got new windows. Because in California, you open your windows. Okay.
Yeah.
Out here where we live, you don't open your windows, but maybe 2 weeks out of the year. 1 week in the springtime, 1 week in the fall. Otherwise, it's closed because it's too hot, or it's closed because it's too cold. So windows, in my opinion, don't really add the value, new windows, like they do in other parts of the country. So as long as the windows can open and close for safety, for fire escape and all those things, I'm leaving the windows alone until they completely fail. When they completely fail, then I'm not going to go replace with a storm door or a metal window because those would be even more expensive to find to replace. So then I will go to Lowe's and buy off the shelf replacement double pane vinyl windows.
Yeah. It's funny. Like at all of my flips, we would always replace all the windows because they're typically single pane. You got to go double or triple pane. But yeah, it's in rental units, it's also health and safety. It's got to go up. It's got to lock, right? It's got to be able to be fixed in place. But yeah, we'll run them until they're not safe, and then we just go to Home Depot and replace off the shelf.
Off the shelf, whatever is on sale.
Yeah, no custom. Well, I'll have them refit the window to buy off the shelf.
Yeah,
it's just
right.
For
sure.
Term.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, what about another one we often look at is bathroom tubs, right? If you ever when you replace them, when you refinish them, what do you do there?
Okay, so bathtubs. Oh, they're getting cheaper and cheaper in quality. Oh, yeah. Okay. Bane of my existence is the bathtub. So all bathtubs out here that I've seen have all been cast iron. I have not run across a house that I buy yet that already has an acrylic tub or fiberglass or anything like that, or even the powder coated metal tubs. Okay, so they're all cast iron. If they're rusted, right, I'm going to keep the bathtubs. I will, if the bathtub's in good shape, I will leave it and do the whole tub surround. The only time I'm replacing a bathtub is if it's not replaceable. It's just not worth it. I will refinish it, right, if it's got rust spots or chips and nicks. But once you start refinishing bathtubs, you will always have to refinish it. They're only good for as long as the tenant takes care of the bathtub. And if you do it yourself, you can buy the Rust-Oleum tub and tile kits at the Ace Hardware. They're $50 a piece, just about. You're gonna need 3. Okay, so it's $150 in just materials if you want to refinish a bathtub. If you want to hire a professional, it's about $500 now. I mean, it used to be $350, now it's $500 to have someone come refinish the bathtub. The length of time that a refinished tub will last depends on how your tenants clean it, how they use it. I mean, they could destroy it in a year, okay? Or it could last 5 years. But the problem is you're going to always be refinishing that bathtub almost every time
Yep.
a tenant moves out if they're there for a long time. So that is a drawback. And the cast iron tubs are very hard to get out. You have to break them into pieces. It's a big deal.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not super easy or cheap to do. But if I do have to replace a bathtub, I will go with a more higher quality bathtub. I'm not going to buy the Boots bathtub, that's $159. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to make sure that it's seated correctly and installed correctly, because if there's hollows and then they crack with heavy weighted people or kids jumping in them, if you have a tile surround, you have to take out a couple feet of the tile to get the bathtub out, because the bathtub is seated behind the tile. So, and I'll say one thing that I'm going to try to not do anymore is do tile surrounds when refinishing a bathroom. I'm going to buy the shell, because it costs more to have a tiler come. People, they appreciate it. But I'm really not sure I'm getting more rent doing that. I really don't think that I am. I think if I had a nice, clean shell and new tub would give me just the same rent as if I had a white tile surround.
Yeah, I think you're right. We used to do the tile. We do the surrounds now whenever we can. And you're right about the tubs. When in doubt, I saved the tub. In the beginning, again, I just naturally thought, oh, got to replace it. No, you don't. You can refinish a tub a lot of the times.
A lot of times too.
Yeah. Well, what else are you thinking about when you're doing upgrades? I guess we could talk about, do you plumb for garbage disposals or dishwashers? If you're going to upgrade it, are you doing either of those?
Okay. And I know we've talked about this before and we have a little difference of opinion on that. For me, so far, I have installed garbage disposals. I've only had one problem with the garbage disposal. I know. And it was from my tenant not using it. And it rusted because they didn't use their sink. The guy, he eats on protein, lives on protein bars. So I was like, the sink, it doesn't, it doesn't work. Like, it's backed up. Oh yeah, the garbage disposal froze up because you're not using it. It rusted. But otherwise, it's been fine. I'm not sure moving forward that I'm going to keep adding them in though. I might just leave them out because it's really easy to snake a line without a garbage disposal. You don't really need to have the clean out. You can go through the sink. But dishwashers, if I'm redoing a kitchen and I'm putting in new cabinets, I'm gonna put in a dishwasher. I think people appreciate it. It makes the property nicer. Even if in those areas tenants aren't used to a dishwasher, when I'm showing the property, I get the direct feedback from potential tenants, and they do like the fact that there's a dishwasher. I think it does make a difference to them, especially when they've grown up without a dishwasher. It's a huge perk.
No, I agree with you. I think both the garbage disposal and a dishwasher are seen as a plus by tenants. I frankly will not ever plumb for a garbage disposal or a dishwasher because I don't want those service calls that just eat up cash flow because they're not used to using them or whatnot. So, but yeah, there's lots of things you should and shouldn't do when you are a landlord. Casey, where should people follow you?
People should follow me on Instagram and YouTube. I've got a new video coming out every week on my YouTube channel, Brick by Brick Wealth.
Thank you so much.